This is something else that isn't illegal. Noisy neighbor, 6 cops, child services on innocent mom. Quote, don't let your kids play outside, she was told. Mom visited by police and CPS after a neighbor reported her for not. This is so hard to believe, but I see it literally every few days. Mom visited by police and CPS after neighbor reported her for letting her son play outside in the park next door to their house. You see these stories with straight faces. So, founding fathers can't be in the military, wouldn't be welcome, can't go to the church you choose, can't be part of the Tea Party, no law, they just say it. 2 + 2 = 5, you didn't build your business. A Texas mom of 3 was visited by the police and Child Protective Services after a neighbor reported her for letting her son play outside. They said the neighbor was annoyed by the noises the children made. A woman she did not know was at her door with Isaac and asked, is this your son? Roy nodded to the woman, explained what happened in writing. And it goes over it. And so then the CPS and police show up. And we see this constantly. We see all over the country, even $500 in your wallet when the police pull you over, they say it's suspicious and they'll just call it money laundering and take it. No judge, no jury, no nothing. In federal asset forfeiture seizure. What are the feds doing running the program over the police? And what are the police doing robbing people and claiming that everything's illegal? This is tyranny. And no one's safe. They want a tyranny in place because all over the world, the same globalists have done the same programs. So we know what their next move will be because they follow a boilerplate system. They've got so many operatives, so many minions that it's not all coordinated. It's rolled out in policies, and then they just find corrupt people that'll follow orders to then bring it in. And it's disgusting to see it unfolding like this. Let's move into some other news here today. Boehner touts immigration reform. The sooner we do it, the better. America's immigration system is a mess, and reforming it would help the economy, House Speaker John Boehner said last night. Now, they know the public's not paying attention. So all they do is just say, yeah, it's a mess with all these illegals and the open border and all these children coming across, even though the government encouraged it, pays for them, ships them around the country, tries to cover it up. We don't know what's going on, but I tell you, reform will fix it. And we know what the bill says. It'll just legalize anybody that gets here, so that will encourage more to come. Then they'll go, oh, it's so screwed up. There's no border to begin with. Let's just make it a North American Union. And that's what they're saying. This is a North American Union. So Boehner funded Obamacare bipartisanly with the Democrats yesterday. And now he wants open borders, calling it reform. That's like if you have a bloody nose, they say, well, let me fix that bloody nose. And they take a hammer to your teeth. Oh, your teeth are knocked out. Let me take a buzzsaw to your legs. Oh, man, you're bleeding to death. Let me rip your guts out and burn them in front of you. That's called being drawn and quartered. Here's another one by Kit Daniels up on prisonplanet.com and Infowars.com. You need to get these stories out to people, folks. Post them on Facebook. Send them out on your Twitter. That's how we get the news out to people. That's why we're having success. That's why we're really causing the globalists a lot of problems. Report, California lead ban to triple ammo prices. There's more than one way to skin a cat, they say. Currently, 95% of all ammo sold in California contains lead. And now they've got a new tax that's 300% the previous cost of ammo. Kit Daniels breaks it all down and links to the documents. And next, they just want to ban the ammo to begin with. And then they ban the importation, and they have the big banks don't let sporting goods stores have bank accounts if they've got guns retroactively. They're just extrajudicially, outside of law, nickel and diming and harassing everyone. You're like, well, I just won't live in California. Everything they beta test in California and New York is then rolled out against the rest of the country. Austin is a beta test to roll out against the rest of Texas. This is their program. This is their plan. And it's led by a bunch of blue blood Republican rhinos who will lead us right into destruction and who are constantly attacking libertarians and Tea Party people like myself that would like to take over the Republican Party, because that's one of our best venues to non-violently fix this situation. And so who do you see attacking us constantly? The neocons, making stuff up, doing all sorts of dirty tricks, engaging in all this, trying to control the debate and control what people hear, because they hate the fact that my talking points, my common sense that I put out here, they come from me and my brain, are then parroted by the conservative libertarian media. That's our real power. We're like a rock into a pond. The signature of InfoWars and Prison Planet, and you, the listeners, is big when we first hit the water. But when it spans out, it's exponentially big. That's why you're so powerful when you send a story like this out to your legislators or to your local talk show host or to your email list or to your Facebook. You should build an email list of local media and activists and send InfoWars material to them. This is how we're affecting change. California's upcoming ban on the use of traditional lead ammunition could triple the price of all ammunition in the state, forcing many gun owners to give up shooting. Yeah, other forms of ammo are more expensive and don't work as well, according to a report by a firearm trade association. It's a 15-page report by the National Shooting Sports Foundation Association with an economic research firm conducted and concluded the ban will increase ammo prices up to and possibly beyond 300% for centerfire cartridges, such as popular 30-06 Springfield, 357 Magnum, shotgun shells, and rimfire rounds, including 22 long rifle, which in the past is one of the most affordable calibers to shoot. And it goes over it. Very important report. I want to go to your calls when we come back for the balance of the hour on any of these issues. The Scottish independence vote, of course, went down. Massive allegations of fraud and some evidence of it. So they voted no to leave, down with yes. Coming up, Putin is considering, that means it's already in place, unplugging the internet in Russia during protest or war, during an attempt to overthrow the country by the globalist. I'm not even defending Russian tyranny. The point is, this is decried by our media when they do it. We already have an internet kill switch in place for at least 6-7 years. They announced it last year, but it was already on record. So we've got that information. Kremlin to protect Russian cyberspace from unpredictable West is what Putin says. Residents grab guns to deter looters in Los Cabos, Mexico. Yep, it's illegal guns, maintaining order in many areas of Mexico. That's all coming up and more today. Oh, and Home Depot was hacked. We'll tell you about that. Promote liberty. And don't act like a bunch of broke-back cowards to the establishment. That only encourages these wolves to get more aggressive. I can't believe how intimidated so many Secret Service agents and FBI agents that I know are of the system. They tell me they're scared. Look at Dan Bongino. He quit. He's running for office. He's doing well. He's got a book out. He's getting harassed, but he's more happy than he's ever been, more alive. But let's just not talk about the government and blame them for everything. If you want to know why this has all happened, look in the mirror. We talk about the World War II generation, call them the greatest generation. I don't know. Were they the greatest generation compared to the 1776ers that fought the British Empire that nobody beaten, that beat Napoleon a few years later? Couldn't beat us over 7 years, outnumbered 8-1? You stack up the World War II generation next to Andrew Jackson? That's why they don't tell you about Andrew Jackson, because it's so over the top what really went on. Whether you like the guy or not, so incredibly manly, so incredibly tough. Sam Houston, all those people, Davy Crockett. That's the stuff of legends. Those were real people. And I'm not knocking the World War II generation. My two grandpas were great people. Tough, smart, loving, manly, men's men. But it was the World War II generation came back and said, we're heroes, America's perfect. Government, do whatever you want. You want to have a totally secret government? National Security Act of 47? You want to make the CIA, set up by British intelligence, above the law? Hey, well, we're fighting commies. Must be okay. Look where we are now. I want this to be the greatest generation. I want us to reverse being slobs, reverse being lazy, reverse thinking we don't have any power, reverse thinking we can't make change, and start making it. Because it is always darkest until the dawn. And all of our metal is about to get tested. And I feel sorry for all these yuppies and know-it-alls and people that are dumber than a box of rocks, that are bought into the system, who believe that it's going to deliver Valhalla to them. Just like a pig in a pen getting fed for the slaughter. It just is happy as a pig in you-know-what, and it has no idea that it's about to get shot in the head and the barn, and about to get strung up by its feet and its throat slit. It's about to get butchered to make Christmas hams coming up in a month. Why? It sees you coming. It thinks you're the guy bringing the food. It snorts all happy and squeals in its pen right when you reach over with that 22 Magnum and put it right to its head to pull the trigger. And you like the pig. You've been raising it for a couple years, but you know what? You butcher your own meat and you're going to smoke some hams. And you pet the pig on the head and you pull the trigger. And the globalists, the ones that really aren't super evil, they just see us like a pig or a cow. Dumb and silly and, oh, it's kind of sad. Let's not kill them, too meanly. Let's kill them softly with a soft kill. By the way, every time I talk about killing someone softly, they go, that's a Brad Pitt movie. What are you saying? The government runs a soft kill? No, they got that in the movie from the real thing. That's called killing someone softly. That's how the Russians would do it in the Soviet Union, is they take you out all the time for interrogations over the years, and you never knew when they'd walk you out and you think you were going for an interrogation. They shoot you right in the back of the head with a small caliber handgun so it didn't scare everybody too much. And then they drag you off. And then go throw you in a big ditch, Have a bulldozer come by and cover you up. See, I don't like a world where human life isn't valued. All you people are like, oh, it's not a baby, kill it. You goody two-shoes people on abortion, use the baby stuff for stem cells. They've got a treatment right now that'll grow your hair back 100%. They got a treatment that'll grow your Achilles back 89% of the time, and I don't have to have surgery, but it's baby tissue, and I won't have it. People are like, man, but look, my hair completely grew back. It's only a couple $1,000. You got the money, go get it. I'll just let my hair fall out, okay? I kind of want my hair to fall out. Big deal. I want to get skinny before it does, but so what? I'm not a vain person. If they come up with, they take my stem cells, or they artificially create them, I'd be all for it. But man, if we don't care about babies, nobody's going to care about us. Don't you get that? When you don't care about anybody and you're a sociopath, then nobody cares about you, and you don't really get the love and the honor and the kinship. There's nothing feels better than people you can trust. Nothing feels better than folks knowing you're honorable. Nothing feels better. And that's why they always attack my honor and claim I'm disingenuous, because there's nothing but a track record of me being honorable, because they know that the answer to their evil is being honorable. We'll be right back with your phone calls. I'm going right to them. Stay with us. My friends, Alex Jones here to tell you about some of the most important information concerning you and your family's health. Radiation levels have more than doubled in the last 60 years in the Northern Hemisphere from all of the nuclear testing and radiological accidents. Radioactive contamination is now in most of the food supply. There's only two ways to avoid this. Move south of the equator or properly protect your thyroid with nascent iodine. Looking to protect my family, I've done deep research. Nascent iodine is the purest, cleanest, absolute best form of iodine to protect yourself and your family. It's made right here in the USA, completely non-GMO. I searched out the best quality and now have developed a double-strength form of nascent iodine, exclusively available at InfoWarsLife.com. Nascent iodine is on record as one of the only safe ways to detox from fluoride poisoning. Survival Shield Nascent Iodine. Secure your super high-quality nascent iodine today at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com. Michael Cargill, during the break, they were telling me about it, who owns Central Texas Gunworks, is a great guy. He's been a frequent guest here. They just told me he's going to run against Mike Martinez, mayor pro tem in Austin, Texas, who's running for mayor and is the heir apparent to Lee Leffingwell, the literal demon. But Martinez is even worse. Now, nationwide, worldwide, you're saying, why are you telling us about Austin, Texas? Well, it's just interesting. It's a microcosm. Martinez is the guy last year that when they were trying to ban guns all over the country, and he works for Bloomberg openly, he heads that up in Texas, he said, oh, once we register your guns and get this passed, it was a gun registration, we will ban them. Because the guy had a sign saying, don't ban our guns. And then people start attacking him. When I had the Austin police chief in here, he said, oh, well, some of your guys, as if they were my guys, were yelling. Well, it turns out I do know those guys for over 15 years or more, go down with their signs that say no gun ban. It's a stop sign that says no gun ban. There's two guys that do it. One of them has been doing it actually more than 20. He's been doing, and I forget his name, I should get that guy on as a guest, longer than I've been on air, because I used to go to gun rallies, and he was there. I was just somebody going to gun rallies mad at them trying to do registration and ban shooting sports for young people and ban gun shows. 23 years ago is when I got involved. I was out of high school, 18 years old, folks, and was involved because I took it personal. You want to take my Second Amendment? And I knew they'd already done it all over the world. So this show, you never know which direction it'll go in, because international, geopolitical, financial, spiritual, because just whatever I'm thinking about at the time, I tend to get into. I said, hey, that's a great idea. Let's get Cargill in here to just talk about these mayors all over the country, like Mike Martinez, the mayor pro tem, who says we will ban your guns once we get them registered. Imagine the yuppies listening to me right now and the so-called trendies and people. Do you morons really want to be like Chicago, with a crime rate the highest in the world because they've taken the guns? Do you really want to try to confiscate my guns? You're like, oh, we're not going to do that. Come on, Alex. You're probably shocked driving in your car right now, yuppies, listening on 90.1, that I knew what you just said. I know your programming. Nobody wants your guns. Nobody wants my guns in New York, in D.C., in Chicago. Everywhere you people get in control, you ban them by increment or outright when you can. So stop acting like alarmists show that Alex Jones guy is a combative idiot. And he doesn't talk in a voice like this, so he's not an intellectual. And I bet he doesn't even read the New York Times. I do. It's very frustrating. Please, you've colonized us from California. You've collapsed that beautiful state. Give yourself a break. Please don't ban kids playing outside. Please don't ban gardens. Please don't build nuclear reactors everywhere, because that's what liberals do and then say they're against it. Please, please, please don't take our guns. Please don't call the cops on your neighbors that are shooting guns on their own 200 acres because you run in screaming and rolling around the ground in fear. Just please be humans. Just please, please stop aborting all the babies and acting like it's some holy sacrament. Please become humans. And to all of the so-called conservatives that are still supporting all the blue blood neocons and rhinos, you too, stop feeling like you're part of the establishment because you repeat talking points that you saw in the McLaughlin report or on Crossfire with Newt Gingrich. I mean, please. The Tea Party isn't radical enough. Libertarians aren't radical enough. We're in trouble. Tyrants are taking over. We need to be radical to face down the radical globalist takeover. If somebody walks up to you in the park and punches you in the face, if you fight back, that's not radical. That's the response. And that's why all over the country they're banning lemonade stands and farmers markets and gardens, because they don't want you to do anything human, anything normal. And that's why everywhere they're calling CPS if you let your kids play in their backyard. I'm talking 8, 9-year-olds, or if they're 11 at a park across the street. They're not letting people put their kids on planes to send them to family or buses now. That's how kids learn. That's how they get to where they don't want you to be a man. They don't want you to be a woman. The best education I ever got was growing up in Dallas and being around rough people and being allowed to just do whatever I wanted. I almost got killed a few times, but I'm who I am today because of the stressors that I was put through and learning how to navigate them. I'm not a total coward. Average people are afraid they're going to lose everything if they don't go with the direction of the government and the media, the state-run press. We're going down a rat hole that you should all be horrified of because you keep saying yes, 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 yes. They now are saying childhood is going to extend to 25 or 30. They want men living in mama's basement. And they'll raise the taxes and things to where it's hard to not live in your mama's basement. And they want women to be the new men, all haughty and disrespecting the men while they watch sports all day and while the women all fight with each other. It's so inhuman. It's so sick. It's so dishonorable. It's all the ancient archetypes being destroyed. The globalists are assaulting humanity. And we are what we were. Going into the future, when they destroy the past, they destroy the future. They are preparing us for population reduction. They are turning off our life force. They are sabotaging our propulsion systems, our need to explore and invent and be honorable and stand and fight in the animating contest of liberty. It is so good to engage the enemy. It is so good to be death threatened. It is so good to have people break into my car. It is so good to be followed. It is so good because they can't stand it because I love it. I'm in the animating contest of liberty. Not that I'm special, but I'm at least being somewhat like my ancestors who were spoiling for a fight. They've even taken the concept of war and turned it into something pure evil when it's something that's happened in our culture, tribe against tribe, you name it, and sometimes is needed. But now it's all deployed and systematic and scientific that they even take the idea of aggression to stand up for yourself as something bad. In fact, the ultimate evil is to stand up to a bully. They'll prosecute you all over this country and all over this world if you fight back against muggers or people breaking into your house. That's the ultimate sin. The ultimate sin is a good man or a good woman who says, I have dignity and I'm not going to be pushed around and I'm going to sit at the front of the bus and I'm going to eat at that lunch counter and I'm going to go take a crap in this bathroom if I want to instead of doing it in the alleyway because I'm a human being. So find your guts, find your heart, and stop laying down. Where do the mountain lions eat people? In trendy urban areas where everyone is scared and runs and falls down. And I've read the police reports on people eaten by them. They won't even fight back. They'll just like an adjacent movie, crawl backwards or run through the woods and fall down. If you just yelled at the cat, it would run away immediately. But I watch TV all day, and when a woman's supposed to fall down, I go, no, please, don't kill me. But I bet that woman will blow up and scream and claw her husband and throw stuff around and roar at him because the only place she's supposed to have a human instinct is against her man, when her man's supposed to be with her and him with her, building their family, finding other people to work with who are good, to organize as good people against the bad people that are always out there. But good people have been taught how to not organize. We've been taught how to lay down. We've been taught it's good to bend over. I'm not doing it anymore. You can put on my tombstone, I didn't lay down. I fought back. I was red-blooded. I was alive. I saw evil, I called it out. They're so mad that this was the genesis of exposing Al-Qaeda being run by the West and the whole Syria thing that then senators covered and everybody covered. They're so hopping mad and shaking in their boots right now. Go ahead and try to take me out, New World Order. I've already spread this information everywhere. Go ahead and try to assassinate my character. I love it. I'm wanting it. I expect it. I got my charts flying right in over your bases. I'm going right into your flak. That's what it's all about. I love it. All right, I'm going to Derek, Cindy, Bill, Truth Raider, and Sandra. And Truth Raider was on the other day when the show ended, so I'm going to go to Truth Raider first to finish up. Then I'm going to go to Derek, Cindy, Bill, and Sandra. One reason I always say first-time callers is when I don't, certain people get in first. But we'll go to Truth Raider. Truth Raider, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. And my fellow patriot in the business of freedom. Hey, you're talking to a famous person now. And then I have an issue with LaRouche Pack, but I just want to tell you my little testimony really quick. I filmed our local police officers arresting, but actually treating the person with respect. They were drunk in public, and after they took custody of the person, and they asked me, hey, would you mind giving us your name for our log? I says, yeah, Truth Raider. Oh, Truth Raider. Well, I've seen your videos, on YouTube. Yeah, nice to meet you. I'm a big fan of yours. So a little bit of fame there.
Well, yeah, one reason they show all the videos on the news of cops going after people with cameras is they don't want you to know most cops like it. And so then you went out, filmed, and met cops that were your viewers, and you realize that you're having an effect, see? That's why I've gotten more pro-police on average, even though the courts are corrupt, the feds are corrupt, the system's rigged. The average cop's a pretty good person on average and is more awake than the public. So I'm just like, whoa, that's a natural ally. Instead of us just fighting with each other, why don't we try to back up the good cops?
Exactly, yeah. The officers here always, when they see me, they wave, and they have the utmost respect for me, and I have respect for them. So that, it's just a rare situation where actually the police are actually being peace officers.
Well, then they get respected, and that's what it's all about. But the globalists don't want the cops really knowing the public and the public knowing them and liking them, because then they're local. They want them mean and scary so nobody interfaces with each other so that we're not all on the same team. Again, they want to take the humanity out of us, Truth Raider. Anything else?
Yes, LaRouche Pack. I have a little bit of a beef with them. They call every once in a while, and then they go through a spiel, so I have to listen to 5-10 minutes of what they're
Well, listen, let me tell
about.
you, there's big world issues going on. I'm not part of LaRouche Pack. I disagree with a lot of their solutions. I like their analysis of world events. I, too, remember years ago, they had a TV ad on about get a free subscription to their magazine, and I was, like, in college, had zero money, and I thought, oh, I want that free thing. And then so they telemarketed me as well. But the show really is not about that. God bless you. I appreciate your call. We can do a whole show on telemarketing sometime if you'd like to, though. Derek in California. Derek, you're on the air.
Yes, I have two comments, please. First, I live in Northern California here, and we have private mercenaries stealing marijuana. Second comment is that Scotland will become part of the New World Order, and I could prove it because Russia will gather all the communist nations, America will gather all the democratic nations, and all the religions will unite because I can prove this. If you take the words Union, Soviet, Socialist, Russia, United States America, and Pope Paul, and turn the letters A equals 1, B equals 2, it equals 666. So
yeah, but you could take millions of word combos and computations and find the word 666. I mean, it's like people take my name and mess with it and say that Alex Jones means something good or something bad. Well, what about my real name, Alexander? And again, it is esoteric. The globalists are into numerology. They are into some of that. Some of that stuff goes on. But I'll tell you what's proof of world religion. You've got the Pope and others getting ready to meet to call for a United Nations of religions all together, basically accepting a one world religion, and that sounds pretty bad to me.
That's so true. I'd like to plug Joseph Israel's radio show and my favorite reggae band, Top Shelf. And
okay, good. I appreciate your call. Again, we don't screen your calls because it makes it so interesting, but it's like sometimes the calls get real weird, which is kind of entertaining. But I'd like to plug my favorite type of tea that I've been drinking, Uramata. I'll tell you, it has got a lot of caffeine in it, though. I got to be careful. Or then I just start stuttering. I'm just keeping myself to 2 cups a day. I tell you, I like it so much that it's starting to displace my coffee intake some. Cindy in Pennsylvania, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know how it makes no sense that they leave the borders wide open and this ISIS is running around, yet they want to take our guns? Well, if you watch 2 videos with Obama, one was the one where he admitted his Muslim faith. That's undeniable.
Oh, yeah.
Right out of his own mouth.
It's a fact.
And then the second one is when he said he was going to build an army of his own, as well armed, as well funded as the United States Army. And I see that being ISIS. Am I wrong?
Well, yes, the famous clip, he said, we need a domestic security force just as big, just as strong as our military. That's Homeland Security federalizing police and then having auxiliary groups like Acorn and Blue State Project and others feeding in to the intelligence network, and then they operate as an organized crime syndicate. So that's their domestic army there. But yes, in the Middle East and Africa and Asia, they are going to use al-Qaeda under the name ISIL or ISIS or IS to confuse us away from McCain and others meeting with them. That's what that's all about. And Lindsey Graham, to change it over and then project it. Into any areas that they want to destabilize. So yes, al-Qaeda is the secret sword, the skeleton key, the army of death that serves the New World Order and the Great Eye. And I've been saying that for about 15 years, before 9/11. And they will use Muslim extremists to bring the world down. And then the answer will be the planetary police state. Like the border's wide open, but they've got stingray systems everywhere stealing your cell phone data, listening to you in real time. You can buy one if you've got the money. They're expensive. And sit there and dial in and listen for miles and miles, depending on how high you are. You can go to the top of a building and put one of those in and just listen to 10,000 people at once and just dial through what they're saying, what they're doing, tracking everything. They got programs with similar systems. It's not the only one where they can take control of your phone. And then if they can take control, they can then plant things on you. So we're all being totally surveilled, criminally, illegally. The NSA is using it to harass their wives and husbands. Local police departments are being given access. It's because the criminal elements want a total ace in the hole over everybody. To plant stuff on people, to blackmail, to lie. And all they're going to do is discredit the entire system and themselves in the process. Anything else?
We need to let the Latinos know with signs or whatever that Maximilian is more like Obama and Hillary and that bunch. We need to start associating their dictators with what they understand.
Well, I mean, look, Mexico's collapsed, so you don't blame people coming up here, but it doesn't matter. It's like I don't blame, people want to have a house and stuff, but they can't have mine. The globalists are bringing them here to be a political bloc, to be a veto against the property lobby, the family lobby, the gun lobby, the sovereignty lobby. And they say that. The gun control groups brag, hey, we're about to have a giant Hispanic population from Mexico that will vote to take your guns. They say in 10 years they'll have them. I was just thinking during the break, looking at a picture of Hillary Clinton on Infowars.com, and then a picture of Queen Elizabeth II, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, they could really try to make her a queen or something. They said, make her a queen and you're against women. Everyone would vote then to make her queen. I mean, a little bit sarcastic there, but it's getting ridiculous. I have been dealing with the Clintons, and all of us have, since 1993. They're horrible criminals. It's just well known. Liars, involved in all sorts of swindles and scams. And now most political analysts say she's got 55% chance of being the next president. Even though there's a huge Republican landslide coming, the Republicans probably won't try to fix anything because they wrote most of it and are involved in it, on Obamacare, any of it, in the next 2 years when they have this big defeat and take over the House. They have the House, but take over the Senate as well. And that most women will end up going and voting for her because she's a woman, which I really think could be arguable. I mean, I would vote for a woman like Le Pen or something that's more libertarian in a second. I could care less if we had a woman president. I'd get down and, cut her toenails and whatever if she just leave the Second Amendment alone. I would vote for a Hispanic woman for president if she had a background that she was for liberty in 5 seconds after I did the research. Could care less, a black woman. I don't care what color somebody is or if they're a man or a woman. What I care about is what they stand for. And Hillary Clinton is a monster. And I'm not threatening to leave the country if she gets elected, but I just can't handle it. And I know they're all puppets. People say, but I mean, come on. If America elects Hillary Clinton over a Rand Paul, I'm going to vomit. But then I think, well, wait a minute. He's a good guy. They'll destroy him. They could kill him. They'll block everything he tries to do. Just let her come in and just make things worse. And there's 2 different arguments there. But I always go with what's moral. I don't want to play politics and go, oh, let Hillary get in. It'll be real good for talk radio business. No, it won't. She'll pull a false flag and have my butt arrested. They've already got the Justice Department crawling all around here. Makes me want to throw up. People are like, yeah, the Justice Department's harassing anybody who's conservative or libertarian. That's why you got to work 10 times harder, because they're scared of us, because they know we're taking the country back. And you know why we're taking it back? Because everybody knows now we don't start taking stuff back very quickly, it's over as a society. Bill in Wisconsin, thanks for holding her on the air. Got about 2 minutes.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. Thanks for speaking up for the unborn. I am a county supervisor. I'm on the health board, and I go through literal hell every time we have a meeting because I bring out information that you put in your magazine. I bring out information against Gardasil. For instance, I have a rather lengthy article in the local paper that if people want to
I tell you what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to come back to you the next 5 minutes, that little no man's land that some stations carry. I'm going to air that Ebola special report one more time because folks have asked for that to re-air that missed it or only heard part. I'm going to come to you at 8 after to restart and tell your whole story because I've seen news articles about you. You've been listening about 15 years. You ended up running because I was saying people should run. You're an example of what I was talking about with James Cargill earlier, or Michael Cargill, running against Mike Martinez. Because that's the answer, is that run against these anti-gun mayors, run against or get on a commission, and then you can really expose what's happening. And this is a guy that did it. So, Bill, we'll come back to you coming up. So going back to Bill, Bill, what's your name? Because I've known you over the years, but I forget it. And tell folks your story, and then tell us the latest info.
Okay, my name's Bill Zeitz, Z-E-I-T-Z. I ran for town chairman when I was in ill health against smart growth, and my slogan was Zeitz fights for your property rights. And it took hold. Then I ran for county supervisor, and I was elected. In both cases, I defeated individuals that had lived here their entire lives. So it is possible to move into an area and just start going to meetings and speaking up. So
exactly. I would elect a Chinese immigrant from 7 years ago that had just become a U.S. citizen if they were pro-liberty and had a history we could trust and had stood up for private property and guns. I don't care. And people don't care where you're from anymore. They just want you to do something. Go ahead.
All right. Anyway, when I was elected to the county, they did not want to put me on any of the powerful committees. So they put me on the Board of Health, and I immediately started to bring out stuff about the pharmaceutical industries, about the vaccines, and they didn't like that. So after one of the elections, they threw me off the Board of Health. So I brought a resolution forward to reinstate me. And it took 3 months until finally, someone changed their vote. It was 11-11 every time, and then finally one of the supervisors changed the vote, so I'm back on there. Now, we had a good doctor that was on there. I had a Ron Paul buddy that just passed away. And, I was bringing out a lot of information on the agenda. And the doctor was fired. He was working with Marshfield Clinic. I don't know exactly. Maybe it was a cost-cutting measure, but I kind of suspect.
No, they do come after you because when you do the right thing, you're cutting in on their whole criminal op. They can make tens of millions a year in one county just off the vaccines they're shooting in the kids. So you're not being their good little operatives. You're basically just telling folks about the fights that happen behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah. And believe me, it goes on. So anyway, the new doctor is a pharmaceutical creature. He supports the CDC. We just, go to the mat almost every meeting. So they didn't want me putting things on the agenda. Fine. So what I do now is under public comment, I bring out articles and information there. So they also said, well, write something for the local paper. So I did. And if people want to take a look at it, the local paper, you can read it online, is Merrill, Merrill, Photonews, FOTO.com, MerrillPhotonews.com.
Yeah, listen, the best way to plug an article is to give us the headline. That's how people will find it.
It's called Avoid the Gardasil Vaccine by Bill Zeitz, County Supervisor.
We're going to post it to Infowars.com and syndicate it galactic, and we've got your county commissioner profile up on the screen. And again, if I remember correctly, I saw other articles years ago when you first did this, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago. Didn't you guys stop Agenda 21 because of what you did?
Well, we did in the town. You know, in other words, we had an opportunity to pull out of county zoning when I got elected, and that was my position. So we pulled out of county zoning. We set up our own very lenient town zoning, and the people love it.
But see, you did it, and in a whole county, you restored liberty on a key area. And if people would just do what you did, I know it took some work and things, but let me guess. Has it not been animating? Have you not had more energy? Have you not felt better? You said you were in bad health when you first did this. I mean, has it not been better for your life? Because in my experience, fighting tyranny is so enjoyable. It's not work. It just puts a spring in my step. I just can't wait to fight the tyrants. And I want people to realize this is what we're made for. If we don't go become the government, if we don't go in there, the bad guys are. We just sit here and complain all day. We have to go engage. We have to go take it back.
Absolutely. And, you know, one other item I'd like to bring up on ISIS. Alex, I think, you know, Netanyahu and Israel kind of like ISIS. I think I've read enough quotes where, you know, they kind of support them, and they sit back and they let these globalists come in and support them financially, cause ruin, you know, in that part of the world. And I think at some point, you know, Israel's going to mop it all up. I honestly believe that.
It's a mess, I tell you. I appreciate your call. It is just such a mess. Appreciate the call, Bill. Good to hear from you. Alex in Canada, you're on the air.
Hi, Alex.
Hey, brother.
Hi. First of all, I gotta say I agree with about like 99% of the stuff you say.
Well, that's good because I don't. I hear rebroadcasts and I go, I didn't say that, Ryder. I meant to say this. I probably agree with about 95% of what I say. Because so wow, I'm impressed. Go ahead.
I want to talk about the disassociation between men and women and how it plays into the depopulation.
Yes, they've created a disassociation and a war between men and women that is designed to make the state the daddy and basically end the human species as we know it. And it's in major textbooks, and it's worked like a charm. They make women's identity that they're women and they're in a war with men, and they make men's identity the same thing, and it's a total disaster.
And Alex, one of the biggest growing businesses in the Western world is the pickup artists, where guys are teaching men how to pick up other women. But the problem with this is there's a lot of manipulation, and where other guys are taking advantage of weak men.
I was about to say, you can only pick up really stupid women with that stuff, and it does work, but it doesn't end well. But it is true that biologically it's a confidence game. And that, I mean, even really good women on average like to be treated bad. And you know, at least you got to be standoffish and distant sometimes, or they don't respect you. And it's biological.
Well, yeah, exactly. And, yeah, because, like, there is that dissociation between men and women. And, like, I don't have this problem anymore. I used to. But I do think it plays into the depopulation agenda because, I mean, it does play into the depopulation into the New World Order, because guys, honestly, there's a huge epidemic where guys don't know how to communicate with women. And if guys don't know how to communicate with women, then people aren't making babies like they used to.
I know how to communicate with them.
Well, yeah, like some guys do, but there's a huge epidemic where guys are so timid and so cowardice. And so, like, I was wondering maybe if you could, like, just break it down a little, because you always talk about how you could get with women and stuff like that. Like I said, I don't have a problem with this. Most of your...
Well, I mean, I'm a family man, and it's not like I'm some Casanova or anything. I love women. I mean, women are just beautiful, wonderful creatures. And they just want somebody that's happy and confident and wants to tell jokes and go on hikes and, you know, go to like little stores and stuff, little antique stores, and just piddle around. That's what women like to do. And I just want my daughters to grow up healthy and happy and to have good, strong men out there for them to meet and love and continue the cycle. And men and women have to understand we're all bound eternally together. We are the human species, and that's all under attack. If traditional roles are out there and people genuinely want that, that's their issue. They're artificially attacking the standard roles of men and women, and it's in major textbooks. Endgame 2.0 breaks it down, where they said that they would do this in the 50s, and they've done it, and boy, it isn't pretty, is it? We'll be back. The head of Alibaba is now the biggest website basically in the world, bigger than Amazon, bigger than Facebook, makes more money, and it's now had its public offering. Think about it. Think about how our country is suffering because other countries don't want to do business with us because they don't trust the fact that Google and all its subsidiaries and things like Amazon aren't working with the NSA. Well, they are the NSA. And that's what Jack Ma said about it, is he said, we've got the trust of the people worldwide that we're not basically doing things like that. So that's the problem having these criminals run our country, is that people wanted to do business with us before because we were the good guys. And not that we were perfect, but America wanted to promote liberty and freedom and the Second Amendment, and that's why you wanted to go there. You can be left alone by government bureaucrats, and now we're the opposite. And we're like 36th in the world now for business freedom. Saw a study last week. People don't want to, that's behind every industrialized country and then some. We're in bad shape. Let's get this straight. And it's all fun for the bureaucrats and the regulators and the lawyers and the academics and everybody until the gravy train stops, ladies and gentlemen. Alibaba's IPO prices at top of range, raising $21.8 billion. Boom. By a guy that came from nothing. And why is it always somebody that comes from nothing that has the big innovation? And it's certainly never somebody with a college degree. And I'm not bashing college degrees. There's some reasons for them in some areas. But the big innovations come out of people that are thinking outside the box, just like InfoWars, just like Drudge, just like so many other platforms. From the water table to our soils to the atmosphere itself, our world is becoming more and more toxic each and every day. But it's not just the air outside that's toxic. Indoor air has been shown to have 2 to 5 times higher concentrations of pollutants than even outdoor air. And most Americans spend 90% of their time inside using toxic chemicals within their homes. There are more than 42 million smokers in the United States. Well over 1,000 types of mold and mildew linked to numerous conditions. And don't forget the fact that 6 million Americans live with pets they're allergic to as well. When I began to research these statistics, it was clear to me it was time to start cleansing my lungs in order to combat the toxic environment that we cannot escape, but that we can fight back against. Made with organic and wild cultivated herbs and manufactured in the USA, the new InfoWars Life Lung Cleanse is here in a convenient spray bottle that can be brought with you throughout any toxic environment. Now available exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com.